Good morning, everybody. I'm here to talk about the application process for remission of the tariffs, for goods and services from the US. Hot off the press. Some of you that are importing, exporting may be more familiar with this. I work with a lot of small businesses in British Columbia and a lot of Indigenous small businesses. So I just wanted to highlight for you what the process is, to get the relief from the remissions of the US tariffs if they're affecting your business. And today, what we're going to talk about is understanding the tariff remission, what it's all about. Remember, this is remission. This is going to be temporary. This is a transition plan. And with the government, we always have a lot of paperwork to do. Okay, the good news is there will be relief. The bad news is there's a heck of a lot of paperwork. Okay, we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you the application overview process and the detailed steps and supports and resources. It's not just the federal government that's giving relief, the provincial government is giving relief. PST taxes, talk to Revenue Canada about any GST relief. Let's take a look at right now what's out there. So understanding the tariff remission, okay, it's a mechanism that's going to allow, for elimination of tariffs on certain goods. You're gonna, if your business is suffering, you're gonna get some relief. Okay, it's support for your businesses. It's going to promote economic growth. Right now, what I really want to focus on this is how to complete the application. So the eligible criteria for remission. Okay, you're going to have a tariff code application, right? You're going to have to complete a lot of detailed information about your business. You're going to have to prove, you can't source it. The best way to do this is step by step. It's on the website and I have provided a link. Okay. So the types of goods that are going to be eligible, raw materials, that aren't produced in Canada that qualify for tariff remission. Industrial components, maybe, a larger business, maybe small business even, components that are essential for manufacturing but not available in Canada. And the competitive advantage is, tariff remission, it helps you. It helps your business maintain competition. But don't count on government remission forever. They're not going to allow it. This is a transitional, temporary relief. So here's where I really wanted to get to, is the application process. And it's not a difficult process, but just the information, make sure it's complete. Because a lot of these people that are reviewing these applications, they have to tick every box. If they can't tick a box, unfortunately, it goes back into the queue. You're going to start over again. Just like anything with a huge, a government process, they have to follow their processes like everybody else. Okay, so preparing your application. Okay, we're going to go through the detailed steps. Make sure you've completed everything and make sure it meets the requirements and standards. Make sure you have all the document proof. You're going to be required to provide copies of your contract. You're going to be required to provide proof that you have searched to other markets to source, what you need to run your business. Okay, those sorts of things. Then you're going to submit your application. Right now, we just have an email address I'll share with you, and it'll go through a review process to determine its eligibility and completeness. Now, I don't know how fast they're going to turn this around. I mean, during COVID, they turned things around pretty quickly. I don't know how this is going to go because every day news on the tariffs is changing. Okay, so provide complete and accurate documentation. You are going to have to submit the proof. Remember, importation, invoices, evidence of eligibility, contracts. Having all of the documentation just gets you a step closer. So the pitfalls, again, the incomplete documentation. If you don't understand the eligibility criteria and you don't qualify, so the tariff relief is going to come from products that the duties have been slapped on that are outside of the free trade agreement. All right, so be really careful that this is just not a cash grab. They're going to look at It's going to be costly. You see the numbers floating around. So make sure you qualify and don't count on this. There's other ways you can enhance your business and be financially sustainable and resilient through these difficult times. So here are the detailed steps. Okay, I provided the link for you here. And this is basically the checklist, and it's right off the website. Okay, you're going to have your business number, whether you're a proprietor, whether you're a corporation, whether you're a partnership, whether you're a nonprofit. You know, I don't know how this is going to affect you. I don't know what you're dealing with in terms of your supply chain. So your business number, you're going to have to provide your corporate structure. So probably your incorporation documents, you know, or if you're proprietor, your registration documents to show that you're legitimate, or partnership, you know, the locations or location where you are. In this case, I'm primarily targeting British Columbia. What is the nature of your business activity? You know, are you a resource? Are you hospitality and tourism? Are you education? Are you health? Are you in the high-tech industry, AI, chips? The number of employees that are affected. So, and then you're going to describe the description of goods you want. You're going to need your tariff item number. Okay. You're going to need the volume and value of imports. The volume meaning how much, you know, and the dollar amount of your imports. So you need 1,000 chips. Okay. What does that cost? What is the tariff that's been put on it? You have to demonstrate that there are no Canadian substitutes or non-US suppliers. So, okay, we can't get it from the US. Can you source it somewhere else in another country of your choice? Okay, we have to provide the proof of contractual obligations, right? Evidence. Evidence means a tangible contract, you know, and factors that are preventing you from sourcing. Or maybe you can source it, but there's a 6-week delay because the supply chain, you know, is just getting bottlenecked. Okay, stating your inability to source goods is temporary or transitional. I can't emphasize this enough. This is government subsidy. It's not going to be like COVID where it lasts 3 years. This is just to help you weather those barriers now. So think interprovincially. Think maybe this is a time to, you know, diversify and get into that manufacturing business. All of these things, right? They are going to scrutinize it. Submitting the application. Right now, there's just an email address. So there you go. For the federal government, really. Okay, and here it is. You can send it to this email address. All right. I don't know that, you know, we don't submit documents very rarely anymore. Physical documents, maybe in the larger centers. I'm dealing with small business. Typically right now we're doing everything online. Everything's digital. Okay, so there is the email address. And if anybody has any more information on this and want to share it, let me know so I can share it with our audience. Now we're going to get into the review process. I'm sure they've got a framework they're working on right now as per the website as to how they're going to define this criteria. Okay, be prepared for follow-up inquiries and additional requests. Okay. They're going to look at what's eligible. You know, the tariffs, I saw in the news that Trump had said, you know, under the free trade agreement, those tariffs will not be taxed. At first, he said 25% of everything. It was causing everyone a buzz, you know, big buzz and concern. And now we are adhering to some agreements. Okay, you'll receive a notification. You know, it's usually by email. You'll probably have to log in, set up an account. You're going to get that reference number like we do on everything else. And then after it's approved, they'll provide you some steps as to how to collect that funds. Now we're hoping you're just a successful applicant. You know, you get it, the rubber stamp, maybe just like CURB, SUS, all of that during COVID, just like your GST, your taxes, if you get a refund, automatic deposit. The more electronic you set up, the easier it is for you. And then this will help you for future applications. So again, reasons for denial: inadequate documentation. Do not send half of your information. The government's taken a long stand on that. You have to provide the documentation. They aren't going to do the work for you. They're just going to send it back to you and say, boom, start over. So take the time. Everyone's under strain, shortage of employees in the workforce. Yes, we're hearing a lot about people getting laid off and all of those things, but 2 years ago we didn't have enough Canadians, and to service the workforce, and we were talking about how we were going to use immigration as that tool. All right, so just do everything to the best of your ability. That makes the job easier for the employee, and it helps you get through the process faster and resulting in that relief in your bank account sooner. So the best practices: thorough documentation. Make sure and put it in a logical order and number it. Put an index on top. Number 1, my application. Number 2, my contract with my US supplier. Number 3, potential suppliers, but it's going to be a 6-week gap. The more you can paint the picture for the people reviewing this and come up with a solution, the quicker your relief is going to come. Hey, they don't know. A lot of these people are processors, processing paper, admin. They don't know your business. They don't know, so they have to do their research, and they're going to be given a list and say, check this for this product, check this for this product. All right. So do your best to make it easy to follow step by step. So support and resources. All right. It's not just the federal government. It's going to be the provincial government, and this is not going to be just on taxes. Okay, the provincial government has announced in British Columbia aid. I'll go look next and see what the application process is for that. I imagine that they're working it out between the federal government and the provincial government. Pay that. Now, here's a fun fact about British Columbia. It just blows my mind that 50% of our revenues in 2024 were made up from taxes. And I think, okay, if we're paying all these taxes, surely we can afford to provide rebates. And we'll see where that goes. Then the federal government makes up the next portion of revenue, and then resource sector, and then it goes on. I mean, you can Google those fun facts for yourself. So the provincial government website is actually really good. Search there. The aid is coming. Maybe I'll check again today and see if they've rolled out a similar process. The two governments, because the information share as per our tax returns, they'll want to know as well, are you getting aid from the provincial government? Are they going to roll it through the provincial governments? I don't know 100% yet. And if anyone else does, please share the information so that we can help our businesses survive and weather this storm. So the expert guidance, I did realize online for across the country, there's all these specialist firms that are willing to work with you. What the cost of that, I don't know. Whenever we get into the professional world, we are talking small business. It does get expensive. This is a fairly simple process, though. The government has made it very easy in the steps. So, it's up to you whether you want the expert guidance or whether you want to try it yourself. You could prepare everything and maybe get that, understanding the requirements, get legal assistance on that and say, look, am I missing anything? Get them to do a review, keep those costs down. It's true. If people in that area are successful, maybe it's worth it. You have to assess that for yourself. You need to do that cost benefit analysis of, okay, here's the fees that they want. What am I going to get in return for this? So, in conclusion, this application process, just understand tariff remission, know the application steps. We've discussed that, and resources. I put a resource page in there. The links are easy to find. I did put the link in for the federal government and email address. I really hope this helps everybody. And, in spite of social media, in spite of the fear, we've weathered a lot. In 2017 in British Columbia, we had fires. Then the floods came. Then the mudslides, in British Columbia came in. And then we went through COVID. And I'm telling you, businesses were resilient. Yes, some do not make it, but I just don't think you should pay that much attention to the political players. I think you have to focus on your business and deal with the day-to-day. And is there a way to pivot? Is there a way to, change, diversify what your revenue stream is? Is there something else you can tap into? Small business can move very fastly, unlike larger businesses. So I encourage you to do your research, do your homework, and I hope this helps. And just email me with any questions. I am doing a lot of these things out of request from people. Stick together. We're with you. Canada's going to be fine. We'll get there.